Hello, welcome to Life with a Twist podcast. If you're looking for a podcast that takes a raw and unfiltered look at life, then you've come to the right place. So grab a drink and get ready to laugh with us and at us and our invited guests at all the twist life gives. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Life with a Twist. We have our dear friend Mel back with us. Hashtag drinks at Mel's. And this is going to be a very fun drink. Reba was placing an order recently for some liquors to be delivered and didn't pay attention to the ounces and ordered the largest container of, was it Smirnoff watermelon vodka that has ever been known to man. It's huge, and I don't think that was her intention. So out of this little whoopsie, we got to figure out some things because we're not big, sweet people. Out of this little whoopsie, we decided to try to kind of come up with a Life with a Twist signature drink. And Mel was a great person to talk to and get, her take on this. And wait, you want to explain what we did?
This lovely, lovely oops was comprised of 2.5 shots of regular vodka, 2.5 shots of oopsie watermelon vodka, 2.5 shots of lime juice, and 1.5 shots of simple syrup. What we did first and foremost is muddled mint in the base of the shaker so that you have the crushed mint leaves give it another dimension of flavor. Pour all of your ingredients in and shake it like a Polaroid picture. And then you have a dynamic oops.
So because of this oops, and that's kind of what we talk about all the time on Life with a Twist is all the crazy things that happen to us, we decided to name this oops the Life with a Twist signature drink, the watermelon gimlet. And I was so impressed with, I thought it was going to be too sweet for me, but I think with the mint and the lime juice, it's like just a perfect balance of sweet with a little bit of tart.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I liked it. It's not as watermelon-y as I thought it would be, but I have to keep the bottle put up. Otherwise this happens. And it's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. Well, it would have been nice if you kept it to yourself. Because now we're all going to sing it.
The rest of the day.
Yeah.
Everyone's singing it.
And you're welcome. You guys can sing it too. So good.
I feel like that was an assault.
She got us. She set us up right there.
Saboteur.
She'll be dancing in the kitchen later tonight at midnight doing all the dishes your husband didn't do.
That is so true. Although I got so mad at him recently for doing that to me. I think I might have come up to visit you and I came home to like mountains of like dirty dishes and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, man, anytime I go play, I pay. I spend a day like undoing everything that they've done. So maybe I scared him enough that he's not going to do that.
Again. Yeah, I know Bree and Nelson make the mad dash.
Like, hurry, mom's coming.
Nelson's tracking me all the way home on our like family app. Okay, it's go time.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mel, you did an amazing job with this watermelon vodka. Thank you so much for doing that. So on our episode today, we're going to transition straight from Drinks with Mel into our I'm Drunk and Old episode. And she's going to stay with us and have a lovely time telling on ourselves. So this should be interesting. A lot of my I'm drunk and old happen with you. So this is very appropriate.
I'm sorry that's
I'm not sorry.
well, I guess really if we're saying it, we're at least doing it together.
Right.
I mean, there is definitely misery loves company.
Exactly.
I love how easily y'all are admitting you're old.
Oh, my body told me I was old many years ago, well before I hit 40. So
yeah,
true.
Timmy asked me a couple of weeks ago, he's like, Mom, do you feel like you're old? And I go, in my mind, no, but in my body, yes.
Right.
When I go, look what I can do, and I can't do it, which sometimes is just stepping up on the curb.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes.
Yeah, or like rolling over in bed. Why is that painful? Like, why does it hurt? It's just not nice. Well, do you want me to go ahead and share my twisted moment? This is going to be
all of it.
Okay.
Yes.
So I checked with my dear friend to see if I could like share this story. This has to be one of my most embarrassing, like I want to curl up and die right now kind of moments. Like I felt I was just embarrassed with myself. It's been quite a few years, and my husband's business partner and his wife are wonderful friends of ours. We've been friends for a very long time now and have a mutual love and admiration for each other. We had gone out to dinner, and I think it was after Christmas. So it was kind of our holiday celebration, and it wasn't a big group. Their company was still pretty small. And so it was a small group of us, and we went to a very nice restaurant in Houston. We went down to Mastro's, and just kids shouldn't take me to nice places is the main point here. I was trying to be cool and got dressed up and all those things, and we're all sitting together and laughing and joking. Well, I'm sitting next to my dear sweet friend Ashley, and we're talking, and I'd already had a few cocktails at this point, and everybody had a glass of red wine to enjoy with their steaks. And as I'm talking, I talk with my hands a lot, as I'm doing right now. And as I'm talking and laughing and stuff, my hand moves and just lays a entire full glass of red wine down on the table, but it went down onto the floor where my sweet friend Ashley's very expensive Birkin bag was sitting. It was brand new. She had just gotten it. Her husband had gone through all sorts of trouble trying to find the specific purse. They had a purse guy who found it. And I think this thing is like $40,000.
Easy.
My stupid self was like a magnet to it, apparently. And it's like, oh, that costs a lot. Let me ruin it for you.
Oh my God.
So it's white, $40,000.
No.
Yes. Could it be any worse? Why couldn't it be black? No.
Oh
No.
my God. Was it unzipped?
It was open. So
open.
Yeah. So I knocked the red wine down onto the purse. I'm embarrassed I spilled the wine, but then I realized it hit the purse, went into the purse. So not only the outside of the purse, but the inside lining of the purse, which is white. It had the sweetest. This is when I knew she's a good person. Her first reaction was, please don't stress, don't fret. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, yes, it is. My purse is from Target. It has spit up on it and Cheetos inside of it. That's not a big deal. This is a big deal. So she kindly tended to me first, and then she grabs the purse and goes to the bathroom, and then all sorts of commotion happens. The wait staff was rushing around getting her rags and cleaning products, and the manager came in trying to,
in the bathroom?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Trying to help the situation. Obviously, all of them knew that this was
Were you in the bathroom with them?
I did. I went in there, and I was crying. I was just so embarrassed. And, of course, she's sweet as can be and wanted to make sure I was okay and not upset. And she kept saying, I'm not upset with you. I'm not upset. But it pretty much ruined the entire evening because she sneaks off to head home with this purse to go home and try to clean it and tend to it or whatever. So, and then I just was so embarrassed and mortified. And I was like, well, we're going to have to empty our savings to buy her a new purse. So she went home and used, I don't know what products on it, and got it clean or whatever. But, and what's even better is she's still friends with me.
That is amazing.
I know. That's pretty awesome. Let me share a little bit about Ashley real quick. So Ashley is a psychiatrist here in Houston. She's over in the Memorial area, and she has an amazing practice. All of you guys need to check out www.auramd.com. Not only is she an amazing psychiatrist with an amazing staff, but she also has a body and health side to her business. So they do a lot of weight loss, and they're awesome. A lot of vitamin injections and things like that. So check them out, and tell her her friend who's very awkward,
who's a Birkin bag destroyer.
Right, yeah. So I'm sure my face is hanging up at that restaurant somewhere.
Let me ask you this, 2 questions. First question, whenever I get into a situation like that where I've damaged someone's property, no matter how big or small, I go through phases of emotions.
Oh yeah.
First is the body burns from the shock and horror. It's just your whole body burns.
Yeah.
Then I go into, I have shakes.
Yeah.
I'm I can't, I'm making things worse because I'm shaking.
Adding
so
a little sweat. Stress sweat.
Good sweat. Did your body go through all those phases?
For months.
For months.
Yep.
So that leads to my second question. Did you have to seek therapy from
I
Ashley? Support
I could go
to talk through it.
I could go process through it, but she was so lovely about it. I think that kind of made it better. But that is my all-time, like, immediately the next day, might even been that night, was texting my friends like, you will not believe what I did. It was just like, how?
I know that twisted moment where
Just that split
it
second.
should have never gone that way.
Yeah. Why couldn't the wine glass fall into the table, not over down the table into a purse? Like, why? Why couldn't I not be that lucky? But I'm not. And that's why we're on this lovely podcast together.
Yeah. And you know what that means we need, and I don't know why they don't have it at every restaurant. We need like purse situation. I don't like to sit my purses on the floor.
I'm not a fan, and if I paid $40,000, I don't think I'd be sitting on the floor.
No, I need a chair. I need a purse chair.
I prefer a purse chair. When people bring that like coat rack thing over to, I feel like embarrassed almost, like, oh my gosh, like I'm not that high maintenance. I don't need that. But I think if I spent that much money on a purse, I'd need a purse rack.
I need a purse rack. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you've done something like that and the people aren't as gracious as Ashley, where they're just so mean and irate and don't speak to you?
Think. But at the same time, that's like a good test of, are they decent people or not?
Yeah,
for
sure.
Nobody means to do things like that. So,
yeah,
but it's a terrifying feeling for sure.
Well, I can say I've never done that before. So
good. I hope it stays that way.
You own the record on this
Nice.
one. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, now let's hear from our very special guest. We hear from her on all of our episodes when she brings us the twisted drink of the week, but we're glad to have her here as our special guest. Mel, why don't you tell us about yourself, about your people, and then of course, we're all waiting to hear your most embarrassing moment.
So my name is Mel, and I am married to a wonderful man named Andy Marcy. We have two absolutely delightful daughters, Millie and Eggie, whose real name is Eleanor. And we live, we're actually very close living to Rachel. And I grew up in the area that we live, or where we live. And it's wonderful. It's a good experience. I'm happy to raise children there. But as my life has progressed, I have had a series of interesting moments. And the most embarrassing moment of my life, not only as just a woman, but as a mother, happened Easter last year. My children were sleeping in our bed. Andy was out with the neighbors doing a driveway happy hour. I joined them and had one too many gin rickies. Meanwhile, my husband had one too many. I think he was also drinking gin, but I don't remember which one he was having. I think it was a gin fizz. And he at least had the wherewithal to go lay out the Easter eggs in the backyard before he crumbled into a mess into our bed where our children were sleeping. I ended up sleeping in our daughter Eleanor's room, naked, because it's hot, because I was drunk, and I was laying in her bed. And next thing I know, I'm assuming my fanny was just bare to the world. Next thing I know, I hear this tremendous on my fanny. And Millie goes, "Happy Easter, Mommy!" And I was like, oh God. And then I had to go try to find clothes to go put on and go out the backyard and film my children with Easter eggs. Because Andy's like, "God bless you, better have taken video." And I'm like, I did. So desperately trying to make sure I'm not shown in any way, shape, or form. As my children are like, "The Easter Bunny was here, all the things." And I had to pull my ass together for Easter.
Literally.
It was not my finest moment. And I distinctly remember sending a Marco Polo to Rachel the next day saying, "This is what happened to me." I have officially won the award of Wife of the Year and Mother of the Year. And Andy and I were hungover as shit that entire Easter. And
it was a rough Easter.
It was a rough Easter. And I don't remember exactly what he and I had planned to do because it was in the middle of COVID. So I had no idea if we were planning.
Oh, this is recent.
Yeah.
Recent.
Oh yeah, this is last year. I'm trying to remember if we had anything really planned because traditionally with Easter, we have my mother over. but I don't think we had anything planned necessarily. And I was so thankful.
Well,
and I was
thank
sitting there
God.
thinking to myself, the hell am I going to throw together today? It was not my finest moment. And we spent the rest of the day hungover and sad.
Well, I mean, it happens, you know.
At least
no
they
big
didn't
deal.
just get like the Sharpie markers out and start drawing on your butt
Right.
or something, making like little
Oh,
emoji
that would be
faces on your butt.
hilarious.
Oh no.
That's happened to someone I know before.
Really? Oh my God.
They
No.
just drew a smiley
would
face on their
die.
butt with a Sharpie.
No, they just full on good gamed me in bed while I was sleeping. And I was like, Jesus. And you know, I mean, thank God my kids are really good sports. They had no idea that mom was 3 sheets to the wind the night before.
Nice.
I mean, there are times where I sleep on the floor of their bathroom because I think maybe, just maybe I might vomit. And I'd rather be there and be ready because in my room, I'd have to walk all the way around my bed and all the things.
Mhm.
And I will tell you more often than not, and it doesn't happen all the time. It maybe once or twice a year. Andy will walk in and go, I'm bringing you a pillow because you're snoring real loud.
That's very sweet.
I mean, they broke the mold when it came to Andy Marcy, and he has dealt with a lot of it.
Is this new and you've started noticing this more when you're old? I mean, like obviously when we get older, we have children and we can do that in their beds, right? Or is this something that
the feeling's so bad.
the feeling's so bad? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there were definitely times in my youth that I drank too much, but it was like few and far between. It's like your body just processes it different and it doesn't hurt your body so much. My joints ache the next day if I've had too much to drink.
Well, I can absolutely attest to that because yes, I feel exactly the same way.
Worst.
And you know, the days where I can just take a steroid the night before and know that I won't be hungover the next day are gone. And now it's like I'm feeling it so bad. And I don't drink all that much to get to that state, but it is interesting when that next day you're just like, why
did I do that?
Why am I here? Why did this happen?
Well, I've had a couple of moments recently that definitely caught up to me. And like you said, like a parent wife fail because you didn't pay attention to how much you were drinking. This literally happened.
Let's see what stage it falls in.
Okay.
Let me give you the stages.
Okay.
And I'll share some of my stories. So stage 1, and if you make a 6th or 7th stage, we can do that. But let's
Okay.
see how it falls in. Okay. So stage 1 of drunkenness is when you suddenly become an expert on every subject in the known universe.
Oh, that definitely the
You-
story I'm going to tell, because Mel and I stayed up till 4:30 drinking and talking.
Mhm.
We solved all the world's problems for sure. We didn't even know what time it was. So yeah, we got that stuff.
Okay. And of course, the person you're talking to is very wrong. No,
No.
I don't think we ever get there.
not you
Mm-mm.
guys, but what about if you're drinking with others? If you're not drinking with Mel or Rachel?
It depends on the person. Cause like, I just really don't, at this point in my life, don't want to be around angry drunks or like,
Oh, yeah.
combative,
Agreed.
that want to get mad at each other drunk. So
No.
no, it doesn't happen very frequently.
Okay. What about attractive? This is stage 2. Attractive. This is
Like, you think you're attractive?
yeah, this is when you realize that you are the most attractive person in the entire bar
Mm,
and that everyone fancies you.
I think I'm too old for that. I definitely remember feeling like that when I was younger, like, man, I own this place right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. It says bear in mind that you are still the smartest person. So you can talk to any person about any subject under the sun.
Oh yeah, I do get chatty. I'll talk to strangers
Yes.
and like share my life story and become besties.
yes. There's a whole lot of there's a
Mhm.
whole lot of talking.
Yeah.
What about this stage 3? You're suddenly rich. This is when you suddenly become the richest person in the pub.
Oh yeah.
You can make bets at this stage because of the course you are still so smart. Naturally, you will always win. Anyway, it doesn't matter how much you bet because you are rich. You will also buy drinks for everyone in the knowledge that you clearly are the most attractive person present.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever gotten there.
I
Oh,
drunk
yeah.
shopped.
Drunk shop.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
We were like, oh, I need to buy that. I'm getting that for myself.
We used to go to with my brother, all the soldiers, we would go to Austin to 6th Street, and there was a maybe it was called the Pete's Dueling Piano Bar. That was my nemesis because I would spend so much money in that bar to get them to play the Aggie fight song over the UT fight song. And you know, I'm competitive and I have
You're like,
to
I don't care how
win.
much it costs.
Yeah, the most I ever paid to get the Aggie fight song played was $400.
That's nuts.
Holy guacamole.
They probably saw you coming and they're like, that girl, get her a seat.
Yeah. Well, I did it at Pete's, you know, when we went recently for your 40th birthday, but all that cost me was $20. I was
Which I still feel like is way too much for a song. But,
so
you know.
I clearly was the richest person in the room that night with my $20.
I'll make this happen.
This is happening.
I love it. So
That's
good.
So funny. Okay, let me look at the next one. There are a bunch of different ones of these, so we might talk through a couple. Okay, here's this one. You're invincible, stage 4. Challenge accepted. You are now ready to pick fights. This isn't us, right? With anyone and everyone.
This is I'm drunk and young stuff.
Is this drunk and old and male? Do you think?
I don't
Or is
know,
this
maybe. I guess
probably
it
a
depends
young
on the
thing,
guy.
right?
I think it's a young people thing.
Young guy thing. Okay. What about the final stage on this list is ninja.
Oh, you become a ninja?
At this point, you can do anything because you are a ninja.
You mean like catch the bowl of syrup that I spilled all over your kitchen midair?
Dance on the table. You can also, Mel, get naked.
Perfect.
Or sleep on the floor for no reason.
Well, shoot. Well, I guess that's me.
Yeah.
She just escalated.
It's like none of the other things were applicable until that.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yeah.
You are
Naked.
also invisible to the people. You can walk through the street singing because no one can see you or hear you, and because nobody can arrest a ninja.
That's funny.
Highly accurate.
Y'all know we go to Vegas a lot, but a couple of years ago we went down to Fremont Street. And if you go to Vegas, it's really a fun thing to do to just take a night and go to Fremont Street. Well, recently, you know how like the memories come up in your photos?
Oh man.
Well, Maria and I went to Fremont, and Nelson and Luis were like gambling or doing different things. And Maria and I found this bar called the D Bar. And she and I were drinking screwdrivers like they were going out of style, like literally. And then we were rich. So we were tipping the bartenders. So they were putting we were getting in the stages. But recently in my photos, it came up. It was a video.
Oh no.
And I have no recollection of this video
God.
But what's funny about it is not a video of me. It's a video of me taping this guy dancing.
Oh, I do that. Yeah.
All along, I think he doesn't see me taping him. Okay, so I'm watching this and I think I'm like behind people taping him. And as I'm watching the video, I'm like, I wasn't invisible. He knew I was taping him.
Totally knew.
Because at the end of the video, he waved at me. And I'm like, oh
Dead.
my God, I'm never drinking screw. I just saw this video a couple days ago. And then I saw this and I'm like, oh yeah, I thought I was completely invisible.
I'll look back at stuff and think, oh my gosh, during that moment, I just thought I looked so good. And then you look back and you're like, why was half my face sagging?
Yes.
I had the drunk eye and my hair is all a disheveled mess. It's sad.
There's a reason Andy, Marcy, and I don't do bars or any of those things. First and foremost, because I make cocktails and mine are far better when I go other places. But no, because I know my limits.
And I do that to myself enough. So
here's another one. It says 5 stages of being beer drunk.
Oh,
because I feel like there's a difference.
I think it's different.
Beer hits different. So here are the 5 stages of being beer drunk. Let's see how many you guys get on this stage. The first stage is I'm just having one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've had those days for sure.
With beer?
Yeah, with beer or anything, but yeah.
What's your beer choice?
I like Franziskaner, I think is the name of one. I love Chimay.
You with the fancy beers.
I guess it's considered a wit beer, but or a wheat beer. A lot of people though will think it's like, they'll say like, oh, you like Blue Moon then? No, it's not the same.
Now, did y'all drink beer more as young people then you did old people smell. You never did beer.
Really, I mean, bear in mind, my family's from Wisconsin, and I could pour a perfect beer when I was probably 6. It was never anything I ever really was interested in. The smell is interesting, but I wasn't a fan of the flavor.
You don't have a big taste for
I
it.
really
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I would say that if I really were going to drink any beer, it would probably be a Leinenkugel's, only because it's brewed up where I was born. And that's maybe more nostalgia than anything else, but I really typically don't go toward beer.
Okay. Before I started drinking vodka, I drink Bud Light. That's the only beer I would drink. And we even went to a bar one time in Austin, and it had like 675 different beers from all over the world on it. And I looked, and there was no Bud Light. And the bartender came over. He's like, "Do you know what you want?" I'm like, "Well, do you have any Bud Light?" And he's like, "No, this is like 675 like world
Drink a
beers."
decent beer.
And so I'm like, "Okay, let me look." And then he comes back, and I go, "Which one of these tastes like Bud Light?" And he was like, "You're impossible." So, but he recommended a beer from Turkey or something like that, and it tasted like Bud Light. So fast forward a bunch of years to now I'm old, and I haven't really drinking Bud Light because I just mostly just drink vodka. But this second stage happened to me literally like a week ago. We were in Vegas, and I had drinking a lot of vodka, and we were at like a barbecue place, and I'm like, I'm gonna get
it goes with
a
with
beer.
barbecue.
But I got the stage 2. This is the first time ever, and I thought I was gonna die.
Uh-oh.
The belly bubbles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Beer definitely does that to me. And it makes you feel real like full and bloated.
Why did that never happen before when I was
Because you're
young?
old.
Because you're old.
But I made it through like half the beer, and they didn't know, the folks we were with, they didn't know I was dying. Yeah.
Oh.
My stomach was hurting so
Rolling.
bad. So I ended up drinking about half of it, and they're like, "You're not gonna finish your beer," and I'm like, "I'm just not
Do you
feeling
want me
it."
to poop my pants?
No, it was that I was gonna like hot air balloon out of there.
Yeah.
If I kept drinking the beer, they were gonna need to tie me
I
down.
love it. Oh my gosh. It's so funny.
Oh, Rachel, this one I know for sure is you, because you do this without beer. I do this without beer. Mel will be interested to hear. Talking with an accent.
Oh, so in my head, pretty much that my self-talk always has an accent. And that kind of started like,
Wait, what?
yeah, my inner self.
Talks with an accent?
Yes. It happened years ago.
Whoa. Wait, what accent? I'm sorry.
It's a British accent.
British. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hanging out with my friend Esther. And we would drive from College Station into Austin and hang out and go out to bars and stuff. And, she's from London with this beautiful, gorgeous accent. And something happened. Like I just started talking to myself with her voice and her accent. It was just always kind of stuck.
How does it sound when it leaves your brain and
It comes out my mouth,
Yeah.
nothing like it did in my head.
okay, give us a try.
No.
Read something.
I don't even know what to say.
No. Oh, we were talking about that game, Utter Nonsense. It's like that accent game. I can't because nothing comes out of my
I'm
mouth.
horrible at accents. Kyle is amazing.
Yeah. You know who has pretty naturally good accent, and I know she'll be able to do this for us, is Mel, because she's from Wisconsin.
So you're talking about your inner dialogue.
Mhm.
My inner dialogue is my mother.
Okay.
And I would love to tell you on the surface that I am nothing like Jackie. It's inaccurate. I probably am. But my inner dialogue is her voice.
I love it.
Oh, Missy, you should not go there. That is so bad. My brother and I, it's just a quick segue. My brother and I, we had to go to Wisconsin for my dad's memorial, and neither one of us really wanted to do this. We were with our spouses. We get on the plane. Jimmy's already like, I need like vodka, please. Like he's already like, this is the most,
Dreading it.
we dreaded it the whole time. And I was, crying weeks up to it. We get on the plane. We're both really frazzled. Andy's like, it's gonna be okay. And Mara, his beautiful wife, is like, you're gonna be fine. And I just look over at Jimmy and I go, oh, hey, here's a birth bag. If you have too many of those vodkas, Jimmy, you can have a birth bag. And it literally set the entire tone of that trip, which was horrible for us both. But all I did was talk like our mother
Gave you a good
The
thing to feel
whole
about.
time.
Yeah.
Every time I do something really stupid, I sit there and I think to myself, oh crap, that was so wrong. Why did I do that? Oh Lord.
It's so good.
And I can't help it. And I love that woman so much, but I do it to her face.
Well, I thought the first time I met you, I thought you were joking.
No.
Because it's so distinct. Then I met your mom. I'm like, that's exactly what she sounds like.
Yes.
Now, did you grow up in Wisconsin, or have you been in Texas most of your life?
I've been in Texas most of my life. They moved when I was 2. Now, bear in mind, my father doesn't really, or he didn't really have that accent. We actually have the same cadence in our voice, just his was like a large, deep voice man. But no, we went to Wisconsin for all of our summers of our lives. You know, we were out of school. My mother would ship us up to Wisconsin. And so I grew up around the accent. And, you know, of course, I don't really think I have one.
No, only when you try or
when you do
it.
Yeah. But I will tell you that I sound like this, and I would be up there and people would be like, where are you from? Texas? Like, I do not have a drawl. It's just not a thing I have, but my gosh, I can launch right the heck into their accent.
It's so good.
Speaking of launching into other people's accents, I have to be really careful when I am with people that have an accent, because I start mimicking it.
Do you?
Yes.
And it's embarrassing.
Why?
Like when we have our Frenchie Christo, he was here, and then his mom and sister came and we met him in Arizona. I started talking like them in their English French accent. And I'm like, what is wrong with you, Reba?
Stop it.
Like, stop it.
You're just mimicking what you hear.
But why do I don't want to do that. Do you do it?
I do.
Yeah.
I have a real hard time with that because it's just something I do. I have a dear friend that lives in Boston, and for a long time, I would go up there and spend New Year's with her and pretty much go get my winter from her, because obviously you don't have that in Texas.
Mhm.
I would sound like people from Boston.
Yeah, Boston, I pick up really easily. And then I have a great friend. Her name is April, and she's from New Jersey. And I was doing coffee and
Yeah.
But you do that
like
with
her.
people's laughs. Since we were children,
I do.
if you were around somebody with a distinct laugh, you would start to pick up their laugh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine me when I've had a few and I'm in a bar. That's why I can't be alone.
Was it Emerson or Everly was doing it for a little bit, and I texted you. I'm like,
Yeah, you did.
one of my girls were picking up other people's laughs.
Yeah. Now for this next one, I want to hear each of y'all's stories, because I know this has happened, and not just beer drunk, any drunk. The get your shit together bathroom mirror pep talk.
That's constant, drunk or not drunk. Constant.
Get your shit together.
Come on.
Oh, what's a recent example? You know one?
Yes.
Oh.
The story I was going to share with y'all about my worst stinking mother fail.
Oh, tell us.
Actually, it's happened more than once, which is just like, maybe I need an intervention or something.
Ashley.
Yeah. I'll call
Right.
auramd.com.
OraMD.com.
I actually have an appointment with them tomorrow at 11, if you want to know. So, my daughter's 7, and we're in the phase of life where we're losing teeth. And, it's a very exciting thing. And it's just fun to watch your kids just, be excited about those things and enjoy getting the money from the Easter Bunny and all that. So Ems had lost her tooth, and we were at Mel's when it happened. So we put it in a baggie. Kyle takes the girls home. That's the night Mel and I decided to stay up till 4:30, like we were young or something. But we had discussed, she wanted to sleep in our room, and we usually let her do that once or so on the weekend. Usually she sleeps on an air mattress or makes a pallet or whatever, but Kyle was late, so he put her in bed with him. But we had discussed before we left putting the tooth fairy pillow that you tuck your tooth in her room, so that I didn't have to go in and like try to pull it out from underneath the pillow she was laying on. It was just there and ready, right? And she'd also written a note to ask her tooth fairy what its name was, because my lovely friend here has named her tooth fairy, and Emerson just loves that. The full name for Mel's tooth fairy is Vagina Jones, but she refers to her as V Jones.
It's V Jones.
It's so funny to watch these kids go, V Jones is going to visit me tonight. So, someone's like, oh, I want to know what my tooth fairy's name is. So she right before she leaves Mel's house, she like writes the sentence out to, what is your name? She'll draw a little picture of herself or whatever. So they go home, they put this note and the pillow with the tooth in it on Emerson's nightstand in her bedroom. She goes and gets in bed with Dad in our bedroom. But here I come rolling in at 4:30 in the morning like an idiot. Totally forgot. But my husband was so quick on his toes, maybe because I've done this before. This is not my first time. And I did have a stern talking to like myself, like, Rachel, come on. But I go in, why he didn't just put the money? I don't know. Anyway,
I come in, totally forget about it, get in bed. The next morning, she gets up and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. She gets up and first thing she does, run into her room to go see how much money she got and, you know, what the tooth fairy's name was. And all of a sudden, Kyle and I both are laying in bed and he goes, oh my God, did you do the tooth fairy? And I was like, I didn't. He jumps up so fast, goes and grabs some money and sticks it under the pillow in our bedroom real quick while she was in her bedroom.
God, that is
I know,
wise.
my
Man.
brain was not in gear. So she comes in there, eventually finds it or whatever. And she's like, I guess she blamed it on me. She said, I guess the tooth fairy, when she was going to my room to get everything and she heard you come in late, calling me out, heard you come in late and you scared her. So she just put it in here. I'm like, yep, that's what happened. That's what happened. So we said, leave the note out and leave the tooth, you know, maybe she'll come pick it all up the next day, which she did. And her tooth fairy's name is Stella, because Kyle quickly came up with, you know, I was like, do I go in there and try to write on the note? Like, what do I do? We didn't even discuss the name. And I would have tried to be a little funnier than Stella, but Stella's great. She loved the name. Everybody's happy. But I felt like such a jackass. So I had that talk with myself, you know, like trying to pull myself together that morning, like, seriously, get your priorities straight, woman. Like, come on.
What about you, Mel? Do you have a pep talk in the mirror?
So I have dynamic children, right? One of them is myself. I've pretty much given birth to myself. And she is very, very good at telling me when I've done something incorrect, but in the nicest way possible. She's like, well, Mom, you may have missed the mark there, but it'll get better. You'll do fine.
Better luck next time.
I can't really think of a moment where I've really, really like failed so hard aside from Easter. And I distinctly remember I forgot something for her and I don't remember what it was. I don't remember the semantics, but I just remember going to the bathroom going, oh my freaking God, what in the world is wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
How? And then she's just like, you're okay. You're okay. There's nothing wrong with you.
Aww.
It's okay to forget. And I'm like, you are so much better of a person than I will ever be.
So what's yours?
My pep talks usually happen. You guys are going to know this. Actually, while I'm at the establishment that I'm drinking at, because I go to the girls' club part of the bar, the bathroom.
Yep.
There's a whole situation in life and different kind of buzz happening in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so usually either in the bathroom stall while I'm peeing for like the 700th time, I'm talking to myself and I'm going, you know, okay, you got this. Don't drink anymore. Don't, you know, like, whew. And then I'll go to the bathroom and I'm washing my hands and I'm looking at my face and I don't look the same as I normally look. Do y'all have that feeling? Do you know what I'm talking about?
My right eye gets smaller and like droopy. Just my right eye.
Yeah. And so I'm going, girl, you got this. You got this. Just pull it together. You know, we're going to be leaving soon. You got this. You can walk straight. It's gotten worse since I've gotten older in that not being able to walk straight happens a lot quicker than it did. But what I love about it is recently when I went to a bar and I was in the bathroom, there's that whole vibe going on in there. There's girls puking. There's other girls holding their hair. Stall doors are open. You know, it's just like that takes on a whole different like genre in life. And everyone loves everybody and everybody wants to help everybody.
I love that.
Because I'm in a stall peeing and I don't need anything, but they're really wasted, these young girls in there. And they're like, ma'am, do you need toilet paper?
They just wanted to be helpful in some way.
No, I got toilet paper. Are you sure you're okay? And I'm like, damn, I'm just peeing. It's not even like I'm blowing the place up.
They wanted you to join the party.
Yeah. And so I'm like, no, I'm fine. I go, are you okay? Do you need toilet paper? No. We just wanted to make sure you were okay. So then I thought, are they doing this because I'm old?
Are they trying to help the old lady?
Help the whole old handicapped lady? Meanwhile, they're all like laid out on the floor.
They needed the help.
And then one girl's just standing over by the dryer, like she's the mom. And
waiting for all of them to.
She knows no one in the bathroom, but maybe that's just what she does is come to like mom people, and those girls needing help. Yeah. they need a pep talk for themselves. So I came out of the bathroom and or came out of the stall, and they were like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I don't have a walker. I don't have a cane. I'm fine."
Right.
So it was really sweet and endearing experience. Let's do a speed round real quick
Okay.
of the last list that I have of the 10 stages of drunkenness. And if y'all have a story to share, we'll hear it. The first one, witty and charming.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think I'm like that without drinking, but
It's like become even more.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Rich and powerful. We already know this from me. Yes, I am rich. I am powerful.
Yeah, I'll get like where I want to like pick up the tab for friends or that kind of stuff.
Do you have regrets the next day sometimes?
Every now and then.
No.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, that was a big one.
Benevolent.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like you said that.
Yes, you solve the world's problems.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Clairvoyant.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
think you know what's happening and you just
it's amplified once you're drinking,
for
certainly.
sure.
You really think you know it.
What about screw dinner?
Oh, I've
Made
done
that
that a time or
mistake.
two. God bless it, never turns out well.
Does that gotten worse when you're getting older?
Yes.
You have to like,
Yes.
definitely
Yes.
patriotic. You become more patriotic.
I mean, I think all emotions are heightened. So
Agreed.
I like to read the room. Depending on the bar, I can become very patriotic.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
other times I'm like, I'm just gonna sit in the corner by myself.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be here. This next one I don't understand. And maybe y'all will because y'all are more well-rounded than I am. Crank up the Enola Gay. I don't even know what that means.
Well, the Enola Gay was the one that dropped the bomb in.
I know. Why? What does that even mean?
Crank up
Is that a song? I thought it was a song.
Well, I think there is a song called Enola Gay.
And then I looked it up and I was like, bomb. Didn't see that coming.
Crank up the bomb. I mean,
Maybe-
my stomach gets weird. And
I mean,
then I bomb.
Bomb.
so I get what you're saying with the bomb there.
Or
But,
like where you're gonna drop a bomb in a like tell something that
Or you're speaking your truth,
yeah,
you know?
maybe.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
mic drop and
Okay, how about this one? Witty and charming part 2.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. I'm everybody's bestie. Like, I want to be friends with you. Let's get together, all that good stuff.
Invisible. We know me. I think no one sees me.
I really try to be invisible, but I'm really, really
Yeah,
bad at
I
it.
think I've just accepted in general I'm not invisible, mainly because I'm just like a bull in a china shop, kind of sober or not. But I honestly don't really go out that much. So like we like have drinks at home or
A safe environment is not.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, but even though you think you're being so quiet and all the things, you
Oh.
literally sound like you're beating the walls.
Kyle, he had me feeling so self-conscious, and I recently told him I went off on him, and he's just shaking his head at me. Like if I come in or something from like your house or wherever, like if I go to like Supper Club and come in and it's late and they're all asleep, and I think I'm being quiet as a mouse, but obviously I'm slamming doors,
Yes.
and like all sorts of stuff. And Kyle's like, "You're so loud."
I too have had the
Mhm.
same talk with my ninja husband, because that man's legit a ninja. I never hear him. And then there's me, and he's like, "Do you realize you were slamming counter, like
Yeah, Kyle
sounding
said the same
things?"
thing.
Like, what?
No,
Have y'all
Kyle
seen
doesn't.
that TikTok where it's like the microwave at 6 p.m. and it makes no sound?
Yeah.
The microwave at 2 a.m. You're like, why are you so loud?
For real.
Why are you so loud?
True.
The last one is bulletproof.
Can feel a little of that, yeah. I less and less as I get older, for sure. But yeah, I just think, cool, I have my stuff together, nothing can happen to me,
We know that I'm very accident prone. So that would always be part of my pep talk in the bathroom when I know I've had a little too much to go. No, don't even try it. You will be injured. Someone else will be injured.
Right.
Don't try to be cute. Don't try to
Mhm.
be adventurous. Don't try to do tricks.
Well, I did something really stupid. I just remembered just recently. We were with our friends, Alex and Ashley, Kyle's business partner and his wife. We were at a soft opening of a barbershop. Anyway, we were at the soft opening. We'd had tons of drinks. We had drinks before, we had drinks there. We go back to Alex and Ashley's house where we were staying that night, and I was getting out of the car, and I'm not like, I just don't dress up or do anything anymore. And I'll hardly ever wear any sort of heel. But I get out of the car. Of course, I'm thinking I'm, cool and cute because I actually put on something other than stretch pants. Get out of the car wearing my big wedges, and literally my foot rolls off of my wedge. I hit the ground. It's been raining in Houston, like monsoon every day. The ground is wet and muddy. So I get my leg and my dress all dirty. My shoe was full of mud, but I had ripped, when my foot fell off that wedge, it ripped the sole and the straps off.
Rachel.
Yes.
Why does this have to happen?
I don't know, but at this point in my life, it's sadly, you just laugh at it. And I'm like, it's just who I am.
Can I help you out?
Oh, you know what? I had ridden with a friend of ours, and it was,
Okay.
so she did. Yeah. But then I go into Alex and Ashley's gorgeous home, and it's like white marble floors. And here I am dragging this muddy shoe in two parts, like and I just go take my shoes off.
And they keep asking you back.
I mean,
I know. What is wrong
you
with
just,
them?
you essentially destroy your purse and then you
Yes.
mud up their floor.
Yes.
I mean, that must be a whole lot of love.
I wouldn't be friends with me at this point. I mean, but yeah, so those shoes are a goner, and I was not cool. So
Did you you brought other shoes?
I did,
probably,
yeah.
to
Well, and I
wear?
just walked around barefooted because a few other people had come back and we just hung out. So
Okay.
we were staying the night. So
At least you didn't have to go home barefooted. That would have been like the
or like leave a
ultimate-
bar barefoot or with one shoe.
Oh,
That would be awful.
that would be horrendous.
But it was my favorite pair of wedges. So I still have it, thinking I'm going to take it to the shoe hospital. So we'll see.
Aw.
Mm.
Well, those are all the different lists that I found out there when we were doing research. Rachel, what other funny drunken old stories do you have to share with us?
Well, what kind of got this started is I texted Reba one evening after leaving Mel's, and
I'm detecting a common theme.
well, I mean, I spend most of my time with you, so
Yeah, that's true.
I had left Mel's house and had gone home, and I am very, very big on washing my face.
Mm.
And I, as a kid, would, wear 2 and 3 layers of my eye makeup, just keep reapplying and never wash it off. I cannot stand to sleep with my makeup on now. I hate it. And I can tell a difference in my skin. And, I try to keep like makeup wipes around for those moments. I don't want to use a makeup wipe on a consistent basis, but I found this line of products I really love. And so I thought, oh my God, I really just want to crawl into bed. So I sat there having this conversation with myself in the mirror, and then I started texting Reba about it because I just thought maybe other people feel these things too. In my 4 or 5 step face cleaning regimen, how many do I really need tonight? Like, how can I
Bargaining.
pare this down because I am too drunk, but I can't not do it. I'm too old to like skip out on this on a frequent basis. So I'm like, how much do I really need? So, there's my drunk face wash and there's my normal face wash. So that's how this got started. One of the other things I do is I have like the best intentions when I'm drinking. Like, I want to plan all sorts of things with everybody and all this stuff. And I'm like, woo, we're going to do blah, blah, blah. Even plan things for the next day, knowing full well I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to want to do anything. And it's like, no, it'll be great. Let's do it. And the next year, like, oh my God, I hate myself.
Forget what I planned.
did I
with
get
you when
myself
was
into?
young.
And you
I
obligated
didn't
yourself
do
into
that.
all these things.
Mhm, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
But I really did feel it deeply in my heart. I meant it. I really did.
When I'm with you, I love to watch you do that. I'm watching her and I'm like, this is the best part of drinking with Rachel is she's planning.
Putting on a show.
That's so funny. Any other funny?
Yeah, so I just made a few notes. So when you come in after having some drinks or whatever, I have drunk energy, which like I just feel like, woo, I can get all things done. Like, come on, what can we get done? So I try to harness that power for good, not evil. And so I'll come in and like my sweet husband will be asleep and the kids are asleep. And I come in, I'm like, okay, there's dishes. How messy is this place? What am I going to want to deal with tomorrow if I don't feel good? Maybe I'll just use my drunk energy and knock it out right now. So in the morning, I can just not deal with it and recover, So that's one thing that I think, always have that inner
Hence why
conversation.
you're too loud and Cal's like,
Probably,
shut
like,
the F up.
Why were you cleaning out the fridge at 2 a.m.? That's ridiculous. But I think
You
sometimes
don't
you
want
never
to
want
squander
do.
it.
I know.
That's
you
right,
don't
yeah.
waste it.
And also
Exactly.
too, if you can stave off and come down from drunk slow.
Yes.
It
See,
really
you're
does.
so right.
I mean, it really does make a difference. I mean, there are many times where I just, as I said earlier, I will legit just go head to the bathroom and sleep on the floor, thinking if it does happen, at least I'm prepared.
You taught me something really awesome.
Oh,
So my first thing when I hit a certain point is just to go to bed.
yeah.
But you taught me, don't go to bed, stay up, let it wear off, drink
Yeah.
some water and stuff, let it wear off, and then go to bed.
Yes.
That works great.
Yes, because I have found that if I am at a certain point, and it's not that the room's spinning, but if I feel like I'm at a certain point, it's just easier to stay up and just let yourself come down slow than try to lay down and be like, that was a bad decision.
But you sleep better too if
You
you
do.
do that. Because even though you like pass out and you snore like a freaking beast, it's not good sleep. Like,
No.
it doesn't recoup your body. You don't feel like you really slept well.
No.
And that didn't happen to me until I was older.
Oh,
I could
absolutely.
go to sleep and wake up like raring to go the next day when I was younger.
Yeah, I've started where this happened in Las Vegas also, where when we had gone that night to the D bar and I apparently had just way too much. That night when we got to the hotel room, just like the whole bed was spinning, and Nelson's like, just sleep with one foot on the floor, which helped. And
Interesting.
yeah, because it stops the room from spinning,
Mhm.
which I'm not really sure how my leg reached to the floor because usually
True.
it's up high, but my foot was on the floor. Like I
Nice.
remember this happened, but how? Like if you think of the logistics of it,
You have a
I'm
go-go gadget leg when you're
invincible,
drunk.
I'm flexible,
I mean, obviously you're
all these things.
in the delusional stages there.
And so we too, I guess I had planned a bunch of stuff for the next day
Ugh.
with people. And so I make it to breakfast and I told Nelson, I cannot do anything else. I
I'm
just
dead.
don't feel well. I'm just gonna go back to the room for a second.
Yeah.
5 hours later,
Yep.
I come out, and that had never happened to me before. But I think
Really?
it was the first time
That's
I was drunk and
impressive.
old.
Yeah.
This was about 10 years ago. I had reached you can't do this anymore. And I literally felt the worst I've ever felt in my life
That's
that day. It's
I
not
hate
the
that.
worst.
I
I'm
know.
riding the escalator like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Well, when we went on my trip for my 40th birthday to Florida, we were in Key West on the day I turned 40. So of course we stayed out entirely too late, had entirely too many drinks. And the next day, and it's so hot, which I'm from Houston. So you'd think like my body would be acclimated to, but I don't think it's a possibility. It was so hot and it was so humid. And our friends and Kyle wanted to like go walk around and hit a few more stores. And I was like, you guys go live your best life. We went and ate, which, you got to do and soak up all that alcohol. So we went and ate, and then I just went and got in the car and turned the cool air on and hung out in the car. I was like, you guys take your time, walk around. I cannot do this hot, humid weather while I'm recuperating. So
Yeah. Any other?
So I was at my neighbor's house down the road. Hi, Candace. We got to get her on here one day. She's so stinking funny and adorable. But I was at her house this week. We were visiting, catching up because we haven't seen each other in forever. And I was telling her I was coming up here this weekend to do some recording. I told her what the episode was about. And she said, oh my gosh, I just had an I'm drunk and old moment. And I said, please, can I share it? Because it's so good. So I think she was harnessing her drunk powers and trying to use them for good. So she was ordering groceries.
Superhero.
Yeah. She's like, I'll try to use this. And so she ordered groceries to be delivered the next morning. But I guess, how things just don't work, especially your phone or stuff when you're drunk. I guess she thought she had put the order in and placed the order, and then she couldn't tell if she did. So she reordered. So the next morning there's 2 full grocery orders, double everything. She had placed it twice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I thought that was so funny. I'm like, I'm so impressed that that's never happened to me. So.
I wonder how many people that has happened to and why the grocery store doesn't have measures in place.
Yeah, this seems weird. Same name, same order.
Address, twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
She said,
Candace, that damn grocery store.
Oh, they screwed her. But she
Yeah.
said, but I have a lot of apples. Would you like some apples? She was trying to get all the kids here. Have an apple, have an apple.
That would have never happened to her when she was younger because she's not ordering groceries.
No, you
Yeah.
try. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
trying to do that. That is so funny.
I know, it's too good.
I only do things like that, in that euphoria after a migraine, is I will go and
I love your,
spend
yeah.
a lot of money. So I'll have to tell that as a twisted PSA.
So good.
Well, Mel, any other embarrassing I'm drunk and old stories that you'd like to share with us before we hear the very important twisted PSA of the week?
I don't know if either of you do this, but do you ever just put things in your Amazon cart? Just
Oh yeah,
save it for later or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, last year I got pretty inebriated. I bought the whole cart.
Oh.
I mean, it was a good $500 worth of crap.
Pain.
And I mean, it really wasn't things that I wasn't, it was things I was on the fence about. Cause sometimes you leave it in the cart and you just watch the price fluctuate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next thing I know, Andy's like, why in the hell are all these Amazon boxes coming? And I just said, honey, they were just really good deals. I didn't have the heart to tell him, babe, I got drunk and I ordered my whole cart.
Hey, he's very honest.
He isn't
drunk and buys art.
So Andy collects Japanese woodblock prints and we have them all throughout our house. We're going to have to buy another house at some point just for his damn art. And one of the things he loves to say when Rachel's having a bad day, hey, do you want to come over and get drunk and watch me buy art?
Yep.
And he's always down for it. I
fun.
never say a word because he has his money and I have my money. And then we have our joint money.
I love spending somebody else's money when I'm drunk too. That's great.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
But yeah, so I didn't get into too much trouble, obviously, for buying my whole Amazon cart. But what I really enjoy is when Andy goes, I got drunk and bought another big piece of art. It's coming next week. I'm like, okay.
The good thing with Amazon though, and maybe you couldn't do this because then your secret would have been up, is that they accept they have
easy
really
to
good
return.
return policies.
Yes.
Did you return anything?
I did return some things, but
Okay.
I mean, but honestly, I kept the majority of it.
Yeah, because why not?
It's here. Might
It's
as
here, I
well.
might as well. But I mean, like things like, sometimes when you online shop, obviously, that some things will tell you how something fits. You get it and you're like, it doesn't really fit the way I wanted it to, or wow, God, that's too big. So yeah, I did have to send a few things back, but honestly, I kept them all for it.
I love it. I did a lot of drunk and or bored shopping during COVID when I would have a few drinks, go to bed. You're so bored from the boring last 800 days that you had, and you're laying. It was usually with Jane, and I would just order and order and order. It's bad news bears.
Well, my only big things are during that is I really grew my liquor cabinet.
Amen. And I drink your liquor cabinet.
Well, thank you.
Great. Now, Rachel, share with us the twisted PSA for the week.
Okay, so this is so funny. I'm very glad that my sweet little granny does not listen to podcasts, because I'm about to share something that is so stinking funny. So my 93-year-old grandmother, who's all of 4.5 feet tall, little tiny thing, she lives with my parents and just recently started living with them. And, they're trying to help her deal with different aches and pains and things that come along with being 93 years old. And my dad had given her some cream one time, which he gave her BioFreeze. And I don't know if he just didn't explain to her well enough, or she just really didn't understand what BioFreeze was. I think she thought it was more like aspirin. That's like a thicker cream that doesn't really have a burn, but that aspirin kind of goes into your skin. Well, she up the inside of her leg, kind of in her groin on both sides of her legs, is just real tight and hurts real bad. So I think she uses that aspirin cream and she'll rub it in there and, on her thigh. Well, I guess she saw the tube of BioFreeze that my dad had given her and applies it to her thighs and growing area, thinking it was just a cream. You weren't going to feel it, but you'd get some relief later. But it was BioFreeze. And if you haven't used BioFreeze, you immediately feel it. It's got that tingly, minty burn, and it gets cool. There's a lot of things that happen when you use BioFreeze. So she lathered herself up good.
Oh my God.
She set her crotch on fire.
Oh my God.
She set her
and there's
crotch
nothing
on
you
fire.
can do.
Nothing.
No.
She said she told her herself. She told my mom, I guess, the next day or so. She said, I used that cream that dentist brought, but it wasn't good. She said, I set my crotch on fire. She said, it took me forever. I was wiping and it wasn't going away. Apparently she tried to wash it off. That when you get BioFreeze wet, it gets worse. So she was just inflaming the situation. Well, Mom, I don't remember if it was Mom or her. One of them said, well, that's the most action you've seen in a long time. I think my mom said it. And then Granny goes, and I don't want it. So just a little PSA for everybody. be very mindful of where you use biofreeze.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Nelson recently had a migraine, and so he had run my shoulders, and we had like that roll on icy hot, and he did that on my neck, and I went and laid down, and literally I'm like, oh my God.
Building.
Oh my God.
Building.
And he's like, what's wrong? I go, literally hot lava on my back and shoulders. And I'm like,
were you hot?
I wasn't hot.
Because if you're ever like hot, or you use biofreeze or icy hot, and you get hot or you sweat, it intensifies.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was like, he had literally just dumped hot lava.
Oh my God.
And everything was hot. I'm like, my pillow's on fire. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like literally losing my mind.
There's not much you can do.
And so he's really not having it. He's not wanting this to be what's happening after he's spent an hour like massage. Yeah, help me. So he's pissed, but in a good way, right? Because I'm suffering. And so he's like, maybe you could go get in the shower. I'm like, do you think that'll work? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, but try something. And so he goes, but make it a cold shower. He goes, I don't feel like you should turn the heat on. Y'all, I screamed.
Then it just runs down into your butt crack.
It was the worst decision of my life.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And I thought to myself, if I'm standing in the shower, I'm like, why? Are there other people doing this at 1 a.m. in the morning, standing in the cold shower,
praying for
the icy hot, and when the cold water hit it, y'all?
It's such a weird reaction.
Oh my God.
I was putting it on Kyle's back one time, and just because I'm an evil witch, like I could see his little butt crack, and I was like,
oh,
so I just
Rachel.
was rubbing it on his back and took my finger and just went floop at the top of his butt crack.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
I don't know why
say.
he tolerates me.
I can't imagine having that in my groin area. It was just on like my rough shoulders, if you will. And I thought I just wanted to die.
Yes.
I can't imagine it being in between my legs.
And try being 93.
Oh my God.
I feel so bad for her, but it was Mom and I were just howling, laughing about it when she told me.
Oh my God, that's the most.
I think I immediately texted you and I said, I gotta tell you a story about Greenie and
Oh
biofreeze.
my gosh. Sorry, Aunt Pauline. Oh,
I bet she won't do that again.
no.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mel, so much for joining us for our full episode of Life with a Twist podcast and for our signature Life with a Tit. Life with a Tit.
Well, I mean,
Just one.
Let's be fair. There's 6 in here, so
Life with a Twist. Drink.
Yes, the watermelon gimlet.
Yes. All right. As always,
darlings.
cheers. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you next episode.
Bye.
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 Thank you for tuning in to Life with a Twist podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode on Fridays on all podcast platforms. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button and maybe even leave a 5-star review. Follow us on Instagram at Life with a Twist Pod. We'll see you in the next episode.